So I don't think I've shown you guys this part that much. It's so beautiful. Usually by the time I get here, I'm tired and ready to turn around, and I take the rest of the walk to reflect on the podcast that I recorded and to do some more audio journaling or listening to a book. But today, because of the holidays, I missed the podcast, and so I wanted to record 2 podcasts. So welcome back to Beautifully Imbalanced. This is Tashay Carter. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that little bell so you can be notified every time I post a video, baby. So today we are going to talk about limitations. So this is another form of grieving. So this will be added to the grieving collection. You guys, there is something in my sock that is making my feet hurt. I had to wear these big cloggers because it's been raining and I didn't want to get my shoes wet and get sick. Anyways, sorry, sidetrack. This one is going to be a little bit more vulnerable for me. It is something that a couple of things that I had to recently re-accept. And so I am going to get distracted quite often. But I think this one will be a little bit more short and sweet. So I know previously in the other grieving videos, I talked about accepting a person for who they are. Because the sooner you do that, the sooner you will feel less pressure, less hurt. I don't want to say less hurt. Okay, so let's just give you a scenario. I have been speaking on my relationship with my dad and the relationship with my mom and the relationship with my kid's father, right? Is it gonna focus? Nope. Anyways, y'all gonna be looking at nature. I don't need to focus. Anyways, so with my mom, in year 2020, was it 2023? 2024? 2024, I think. At the beginning of year 2024, I wrote her a letter, really expressing how hurt I felt by the things that happened in my childhood and by not feeling nurtured, comforted, and protected by her and all the things. When she responded, I had to fully accept that I was not going to get the response that I wanted. I wasn't going to get any accountability from her, and that pissed me off. But I was well aware that I wasn't going to get what I wanted from the situation. And I had to accept that and decide if I wanted to keep rocking with her, even though she wasn't the mom that I felt like I needed. Reality, she's the mom that I needed because I wouldn't have learned all that I've learned and be who I am and be the mom that I am without that. But in my mind, the mom that I imagined, right? And so I had to accept her limitations because in my mind as a mom, I'm thinking, hold on, I'm getting a call. They're gonna have to wait because I'm actually being vulnerable here. In my mind as a mom, when I became a mom, it became a little bit harder because I know how protective I am over my kids and I know how natural it is for me. And so it was hard for me. I know when my kids need something, if I can't provide it, I will find a fucking way to get it for them. So in my mind, I felt like she wasn't willing to go out and get the things that we needed or the protection or whatever. But that's not the reality. The reality is, even if she wasn't willing or whatever the case may be, she still had specific limitations. She still had her own healing to do. And that's the other big thing that I have learned with my healing recently, my goodness, is really understanding the role of a single mom and how fucking hard it is, because that shit is hard as fuck. The lack of support, the lack of childcare, trying to figure out where the money is going to come from, all the things. My goodness. And the stress of having the responsibility of other lives other than your own. The responsibility of making decisions that might fuck up their whole entire fucking life. Right? It's hard. It's hard. And she had 6 of us. Then she was also taking care of my 2 nieces, right? I have 2. So I can imagine how numb she had to be to make certain decisions so that she could fucking survive and we could survive. And so, like I said, I had to accept her limitations. And when I accepted her limitations, I was able to also further understand why she moves the way she moves and who she is. I also have to understand the fact that we are individuals. Just because I came from her don't mean I'm just like her. I accept the things that I do have like her, like my entrepreneurial mindset and things of that nature. But I am able to accept her for who she is and decide whether I want to keep rocking with her or not. Now, I had to do the same thing for my dad too, right? So I've decided, honestly, honey, you can keep your ass over there. And honestly, I don't think that I fully made that decision on my own. I feel like the connection was always forced and I had to do the work and I didn't want to do the work. I didn't. I wasn't willing to do the work, right? I wasn't willing to do the work because I felt like it wasn't reciprocated and I felt like I was chasing. And I felt like as the woman who was neglected by my father, I feel like he should have been the one who was making the repairs or making the effort or at least meeting me half fucking way. You know what I mean? I didn't want it to feel like I was forcing things. I didn't want to force things. I didn't want to beg for love. Shit. And so I accepted his limitations. Yes, I'm still hurt by it. But I have forgiven him and let him go. He has his limitations as well. He does. He has an avoidant attachment style. Boom, off tops. I'm sorry, I'm not coming for y'all avoidance. I'm not. But avoidance avoid vulnerability. They avoid affection. And coming to your child and saying you made a mistake and you kept making that mistake over the years and here now I'm grown and I have my own kids, that is going to be a huge vulnerability step that is going to be very challenging, especially because as we get older, we get more prideful and set in our ways. So I know that I will never, ever get what I feel like I deserve from him. And I'm just not willing to accept the bare minimum from him. And as I've said before, accepting the bare minimum from him has taught me to accept the bare minimum from men. It has. Because that's the male example that I had. And so I'm not willing to do it. So I accepted his limitations. I love him and I let him go. Bye-bye. Right? The biggest one, though, the biggest one that gets people is my connection with my kid's father. So we co-parent under the same roof, and we have been since we decided to separate. And when you see us together in public, people still assume that we are a family. We don't hug or kiss or any of the things because we're not together. But the dynamics are there, and he is my friend. And so the question is, the big question, the question that I always get is how, like, basically it's the people can't wrap their brain around how I can make it work as a co-parenting under the same roof for all these years and have a friendship with him and have a connection with him and all the things, but we're not together. And it gets hard around the holidays because we go to families' places and some people don't know. Some people still call me his wife. I just run with it because, like, who wants to sit there and explain shit? Not me. You have family members around who are religious and they don't believe in that and they still call him my husband, and they don't realize how much it hurts, how much it's a reminder. I mean, it is a reminder every day, but it's just a lot. And so you begin to wonder, okay, so if I am, okay, let's really break this down. If I'm willing to accept the way the roles are right now as we co-parent under the same roof, I'm willing to accept him as a friend. And I love him like family. Why can't I accept those limitations that he had in our romantic relationship because I'm willing to accept them as a friend and as a co-parent? Why can't I be in a healthy, functioning romantic relationship with him? The reality is the things that I'm willing to accept from a friend, I am not always willing to accept from a romantic partner. Okay? Limitations are, you can acknowledge a person's limitations and you can decide whether you want them in your life and how you want them in your life. You are responsible for setting boundaries for yourself so that you are treated the way you feel like you are deserved to be treated. As a wife, I'm not willing to accept the bare minimum. I want help. I want support thoroughly in so many ways. And I'm not going to dive deeper into detail because I'm not here to talk shit about the people that I love. I'm not here to talk shit about the people that I either chose to accept their limitations or chose to reject them. I accept his limitations as a person, as a romantic partner, and I accept him and welcome him in my life as the children of my father, as the father of my children, and as my friend. You have to decide what limitations in the people in your life you are willing to accept and what limitations are you not willing to accept. You have to decide what boundaries you are going to set with the people you are going to continue to have in your life. The reality is you cannot change anybody. You can't change anyone. You only have control over yourself. You only have control over yourself. You have control over yourself. You have control over your actions. You have control over your mindset. You are the author of your life and your life alone. Even if you have kids, honey, you don't have control over them babies. They got their own mind. They got their own spirit, their own personality. You are not control over them. You are only in control over you, and you are going to lose your fucking mind trying to change people to be who you need them to be. You are going to waste your fucking time doing that as well, because that's time you could be spending with the people who are for you, baby. So, the reality is you need to take a good look at these people, take a look at their limitations, and decide where they need to be. Are we keeping you or not? Are we changing your title or not? What are we doing? What boundaries am I going to set to keep this firm? And you're going to have to revisit it. Life happens. Life changes. We change. They change. Everybody changes and grows and all the things. Oh, my goodness. It's work. I know. I'm always giving you guys work, huh? I'm always giving you guys work. But it's work that is going to change your fucking life. It is work that is going to amplify your life. That is going to give you a better quality of life. It's work that is necessary for you to do. It is. It's so necessary, my love. It's so necessary. Like I said, it'll give you greater peace of mind. I just recently... my mom just recently visited me and the tension was gone. We have differences of opinions. I didn't let it move me so negatively like I used to. There used to be always some underlying attitude because I was still pissed the fuck off about what happened to me as a child. I let it go. And now I'm able to have a relationship with my mom. I'm able to, like I said, accept her limitations and realize the things that are not going to happen. And I don't know, I'm not God. I don't know what's actually going to happen. But when you see a habit repeated over and over and over, right? You're able to determine what's most likely. You're able to predict a little something, And so I had to do that. But now my kids get to have a grandparent. Now my kids get to have their grandmother. Now I get to have a mom that I can talk to if I want to. If I want to call her and have a prayer session. Because one thing about my mama is she gonna pray, okay? Just pray about it. That's her advice for everything, baby. So, like I said, it helps. It helps. It takes reflection. It doesn't even take a lot of reflection when it comes to certain people. You're fully aware of what their limitations are. It's a matter of accepting it and deciding if you want to release them or if you want to accept their limitations but put up boundaries to protect you, because you are in charge of you. You're in charge of loving you. You're in charge of your self-worth. You're in charge of all of that, your self-confidence. And sometimes the people that we love, when we are trying to change them, we're so focused on them, that we have not even began to heal ourselves and love on ourselves and give ourselves the nurturing and kindness that we need, because we're trying to get it from these people that we want to change. They are who they are, baby. They are who they are. So accept their limitations and decide, are you staying or going? Are you staying or going? Where do you want to be? Who do you want in your life? What do you want in your life? What do you feel like you deserve? What do you feel like you deserve? What makes you uncomfortable that these people are doing? And is that something that you're willing to live with, but put boundaries? Oh, Lord. Sorry, I got a phone call, but I just want you guys to know that it's okay to release people who, I hate to say don't serve you, but connections are meant for you to make an impact and them to make an impact, positive impact, a growing impact, a moving impact. And the reality is, if someone is not doing that and you're spending so much time trying to change them or trying to understand why they move the way they move, and they don't even understand why they move the way they move, honey, it's sucking the quality out of your life. It's taking time away from your own healing and your own self-love. And so I encourage you to reflect on those people, reflect on what limitations you're willing to accept, reflect on what boundaries that need to be set. And just remember that you are worthy always. You are worthy of time and attention, undivided attention. You are worthy of effective communication and love and kindness and thoughtfulness. You are worthy of these things and more. You are. And if you're not getting that from certain people, but you still want them in your life, make sure that you set a boundary around your time with them. Set a boundary around how much effort you give. Because sometimes we're giving all the effort and we are in control of what we're giving. So we're in control of what we're doing, but we're expecting these people to match that. And they're not going to. And we know they're not going to, but we keep doing it. You're trying to pay for their love and attention. You're trying to pay for their time. You're trying to pay for a space in their heart with you, with your love and your acts of kindness and your lovingness and your gifts and all the things. However you decide to love on this person, you're trying to pay for it. And you deserve more. You do. But if you choose to keep them in your life, set some strong, healthy boundaries on yourself and with them. So maybe don't give them too much, baby. And maybe don't allow them to have so much access to you. You know what boundaries you need to set. You just have to reflect. Look at yourself in the mirror. Okay. You are so, 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 so worthy. I appreciate you taking the time to watch Beautifully Balanced. Thank you so much. Until next time, my love.